In this video, guys, we're going to talk about the main reasons for constructing a solid trading plan. Stay tuned. Hey traders, warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining me. All right, so listen, if you've been around a while, you know that I'm a big fan of a trading plan. You know, guys, if you watch the videos as well, I go on about it. And that's because it's the one thing you can do that costs you nothing but time that is absolutely guaranteed to make you a better trader. Now, it doesn't guarantee to make you a profitable trader, but absolutely guarantees to make you a better trader. As one of our members said, he said, listen, if you don't have a trading plan, you are guaranteed to fail. There is no profitable trader out there who doesn't have a plan of attack when it comes to trading. So it's not going to guarantee you success, but it will guarantee if you don't have a plan, you're guaranteed to fail. Now, it's a big statement, I admit, and we don't do many guarantees here because, you know, market is the market, but you can understand why. Because so often, guys, we, as traders, and I've made this mistake, hold my hands up, guys, back in 2001, 2002, 2003, those first kind of 3 years when I was getting rolling, I was trading everything and anything, any vehicle, any asset, any market, any strategy, any style, and of course just burned through my initial account just like it was, you know, like snacking on sweets. It was just crazy. So, and in fact, I'm going to do a video and talk a lot more about that and some of the things that maybe we can learn from that. But anyway, the point is, guys, is that if you don't have a specific plan of action, you just have no focus, and the market is full of noise. It's full of this vehicle, this asset, this strategy, this time frame, this guy's doing that, this girl's doing that, and it's easy to get, you especially as a newer trader, to get kind of shiny object syndrome. If you have a plan, number one, what you're doing is you're telling everyone, or you're telling yourself, should I say, how focused and professional you are. You know, you wouldn't start any other business without a plan. You wouldn't go and open a restaurant without a plan. You wouldn't open a garage without a plan. You wouldn't start a software company without a plan. You've got an idea of what you're going to do. Same with trading. So in that initial moment of constructing the plan, you are telling yourself, I'm a professional. You know, I am, or maybe you're not professional from the kind of industry standard definition of the word, but you're approaching it as a professional. You're taking time to allocate brain power to working out where you're going to be, how you're going to trade. And so that's the most important point. The second point is that it gives you a roadmap to stick to. When the chips are down, when you're struggling, which you will, it's almost guaranteed as well, not a couple of guarantees in one video here, you almost certainly will struggle at some point, being able to go back to the plan and going, right, I just need to stick to what I'm supposed to be doing and get through this period and come out the other side. And the plan might be a 30-day plan, a 15-day plan, a 60-day plan, knowing exactly what you're going to do each time you step in front of the screens, each time you pull the trigger. Because then it gives you structure. If you've got a direction of where you want to go, if you go off course, you can push yourself back on course. You don't have to be flailing around and don't know where you're going to go. The third thing is that it gives you something to work off at the end of that period. Because if you stuck to a plan, and let's say you have 3 strategies, for example, momentum ignition type strategy, talked about loads of times, those of you on the program know all about that, don't need to go into details about that. Just imagine that you're buying some kind of pullback or some kind of trade for a continuation of the move. Leave it at that. That may well work, or it may well not work, depending on what your parameters are using in the markets you're trading. You won't know how effective it could be or wasn't if you don't have a plan of action. So if you're sticking to the same thing time and time again, at the end you can go back and go, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Or it did work great. How can I make it better? And I've told the story many times about years ago, this scalping strategy I had on the Dow, 10-tick stop, wasn't working. When I went and reviewed, I was like, okay, if I move it to 12, actually it suddenly becomes a super profitable strategy for whatever reason that may be. And I don't need to go into details about that story again now, and go and check it out in one of the other videos, guys. But the point is sticking to it, and for the whole duration of the plan, and saying, right, it didn't work, what was it? And it's finding a simple fix meant that I can now move forward and implement that fix. If I didn't have a plan, I'd have probably done it a few times and thought, this is a rubbish strategy, I'm not going to use this strategy, it doesn't work, it's a waste of time, losing money. But because I had a plan of action, I'm going to stick to this, I'm going to stick to the rules, I'm going to execute it. And then even though it wasn't working, I went back and reviewed it and went, right, a slight little tweak, a slight little adjustment, we can move forward, create a new plan, etc. And also you learn, as you stick to the plan, you start to jot notes down and go, you know what, this is a little bit too much time, too time consuming. This checklist is too long. Because some people make a massive plan. They go out and they've got reams of A4, and it's one of the mistakes I made. I went crazily in depth, and you don't need to. And sometimes you go back and go, listen, a very brief checklist is fine. And so it works both ways. Is it too much? Is it too much stuff to be doing before each trade? You know, is it too restrictive? Do I need to loosen the boundaries a little bit? So it works both ways as well. So, you know, you've got the issue when as profitability type of thing, when you go to the end of it and go, right, did I stick to the plan? Yes. What are my adjustments? Or did I not stick to the plan? Where did I not stick to the plan? Is it something I need to work on, or is it something I can just drop because I'm just creating too much effort for myself? Do I really need to check the daily example? Do I really need to check the daily time frame before every single day trade? No, I can probably check it once in the morning and I know where I am in the day. So you might be adding too much stuff. Do I really need to check all the other markets and news flow if I'm taking the third day trade of the day? Probably not. You're just wasting your time. You get the idea. And the final thing, guys, is the discipline aspect. This to me is one of the most important things. The first one's important to give you that sense of I'm approaching this as a professional. The second, or the final thing we've got here, is the discipline. If you can stick to doing what you say you're going to do for a decent period of time, that builds a massive, huge discipline muscle in you as a trader. And we all know how important the discipline is. We all know how important psychology's mindset is. This small action, again, costs nothing, and the plan doesn't have to be huge. It can be a small checklist. It can be as broad or as narrow as you want. But if you stick to that for 30 days, or if you stick to it for most of the day, so if you go into each day saying, my objective today is to stick to the plan. It's not to make money, it's to stick to the plan. And if you do that day after day after day, you can control that. You can't control how much money you're making from the market. You can't control the volatility of the market, the range of the market, the opportunities in the market, but you can control how you respond. And if you do that consistently and persistently for a period of 30 days, you are building the discipline muscle, and you know that that is only a good thing when it comes to pulling the trigger, when it comes to taking your stop loss, when it comes to FOMO, when it comes to all those things that we've talked about so many times, and I'm sure we'll address many times again in the future. Anything you can do in trading and in life that builds your discipline, goes back to the cold shower thing. Remember that series? I'm still on the cold showers. I wonder if you guys are. Let me know about in the comment section below. Anything, little thing that you can do that says, hey, you know what, I said I was going to do it, it's uncomfortable, I didn't want to really do it, but I did it, I got it done. That just builds huge discipline for you. So when you start to trade, you start to increase your size, you start swinging a bit more of a bigger line, things start to get a little bit more sweaty when you're in moves, you can draw on that discipline, and it can really work for you now in your improvement now, getting from loser to profitability, more profitable, whatever situation you're in, and also in the future to be able to scale up that profitability. So guys, trading plan, super, super, super important. I hope you go out there and do one. Take care, keep your risk managed. Bye-bye.